Kevin Horner of Galligan and Manning. Thank you for joining me. Today I wanted to start with a question, which is, do you want to make your funeral easier for your family? Now, recognizing it's already going to be a difficult time, it's under the best of circumstances, this is going to be hard, and that's to be expected, of course. There are a couple of practical things you can do to try to make this easier, and it's something that's part of estate planning that people don't tend to give a lot of focus to, but it's an important component of your estate plan for a host of reasons. Deal with it in terms of decision making, deal with it in terms of how it's going to get paid for, and whether or not the executor has to deal with it in your estate. So, 3 very practical strategies. 1, prepay whatever it is that you want. Now, there's a host of reasons why this is a good idea. In theory, if you're prepaying, you're picking what you want. It's already taken care of. It's not something your family has to worry about. And then sort of the second aspect of the advantage of prepaying is that sometimes it's useful for a Medicaid sped down, and see other videos for this, but one strategy in Medicaid when you're going to use long-term care through the government, through Medicaid, or you're going to use nursing home level care, is that if you have too much in the way of assets, you can spend some of it down. One of the easiest ways to spend it down, the way that you're not going to be penalized for, is to buy some form of a burial or funeral plan. Now, I would always caution people here that there is a wide range of what's acceptable depending on which state you're in for this. For example, in Pennsylvania, you could prepay for the funeral, but the amount you could prepay was actually capped, and the cap was county specific, which I always found fascinating. In other places, it can be of unlimited value as long as there's no right to take it back. You can also get burial plots, for example, as long as they're not for investment purposes. You can buy them for family. You can do all kinds of things depending on your specific estate. So it's worth thinking about because it might actually be beneficial to it. And then the only real question becomes is the timing. Do you do the funeral and the burial plan early on because you need to, because you want to get it out of the way? Or is it later on when you're thinking, well, I need to make sure this is set up so that my kids, my loved ones don't have to do it, and I know I'm getting what I want? Regardless of the answer of that, that's a specific question to you. Step 1 would be consider pre-arranging everything and prepaying. Okay, so that's 1. That's the very simple one. 2 is to name a person in your estate plan who is responsible through seeing what these wishes are and actually executing them. Now, this is a newer trend in the law, and if you haven't done an estate plan in, say, 5 to 10 years even, your estate may not even have had this, and I like to call them, this is the Dora, the disposition for remains appointment, or the appointment for the disposition of remains. It appoints a person in your estate plan, just like a power of attorney does for lifetime decision making, to actually be the person to see through your funeral wishes. And a lot of times it's beneficial just to have it so that you, one, know who that person is, and again, the exact way you'll do it depends upon the state. But then the second part why you want to do it, and this is actually my third point, is you can make your wishes express. Okay, so you can actually say, I want to be, have my funeral here, and I want to be buried in such and such plot. For some people, that's very basic. It's spouse is already gone, they want to be buried next to them, and they actually have that place purchased, and they have the plan purchased, and you can indicate all that in a written document. Others, I had a woman one time, I like to say that everyone grieves in their own way, including for themselves. I think her disposition of remains was a few individuals, and it had an attached exhibit of all the things she wanted at her funeral. And it was broken down by the service, the songs, the particular pictures. It was 5 pages, probably single space to be honest with you, and it was very thorough of exactly what she wanted. I don't think you need to go through that much detail. Some people frankly could care less, but if you do know what you want, it's important to you, it's helpful to your family to have it in a written document and actually express wishes. Even if you leave certain things up to discretion, certain basics, I want cremation, for example, as opposed to burial, that's helpful. So to reiterate those 3, it is prearrange things, again, timing is dependent upon what you need and what you want. 2, consider using a disposition of remains appointment so that the person who's responsible for this is named. That takes a lot of the stress off the family. And then 3, having what you actually want, if you haven't already arranged it, express. Down to be it the songs at the funeral or that you want to be shot out of a cannon, assuming your state allows that to happen. Whatever you want, as long as it's not against public policy or otherwise illegal, is totally fine. So those are just 3 very, very practical strategies. We do these things actually as a part of virtually all estate plans. It's an often forgotten portion, but it's a part of a good, comprehensive estate plan. So if you have any questions about that, especially if you know exactly what you want, you want to make sure it's taken care of, by all means call our office. We can add it into an estate plan if you just hadn't done it in your own respective time when you do your last plan. You can also go to our website. I actually posted a blog, and I think it was about a week ago or so, that talked about a lot of these issues and how you arrange these kinds of things in your estate plan. So with that, I want to say thank you all very much, and I will see you again next Thursday at Kevin's Corner.